In life, when we learn how to walk, we never do it alone. We have parents, family, friends, teachers, mentors, coaches, and community to help us get from point A to point B when we're not sure how to do so ourselves. We rely on these supports to help guide us through the highs and the lows of life, helping us choose the appropriate footwear so that we can be prepared for what lies ahead. But for some, as you know, this is not always the case. Not everyone lands so perfectly into a support network that teaches them to walk and gives them a pair of shoes for such occasions, especially the difficult ones. Another mentor that we all know and love would often tell a story about a learning opportunity for her when she asked a group of young people which pair of shoes were their favorite. She expressed her favorites, and several other youth shared some of theirs. Then a particular young person was up to share, and shared very matter-of-factly that their favorite pair of shoes were the ones that they were wearing, because it was the only pair that they owned. This was an opportunity to learn about privilege and socioeconomic backgrounds of the young people that she, you, and eventually myself would end up working with. But even more than being a story about economic privilege, this story goes deeper to look at the stories of many young people, including myself, who did not always have the right shoe for every occasion that life throws at us. That our privilege to be able to choose an appropriate shoe comes from opportunity, education, support systems. So, when we didn't have the right shoe for the occasion, we relied on you. You gave us a pair of sneakers, and you showed up as a teacher. As we walked down the halls of our schools in our casual footwear, you taught us how to get ready for the SATs, and you helped us edit our senior essays. You took a look at our math homework, and you worked with our other teachers to make sure that we were successful in the classroom so that we could graduate at our maximum potential. You showed up at our schools and made every effort to make sure that everything was going all right for us. And then you gave us the opportunity to set foot on a college campus for the first time in our lives. As we walked up and down the campus, the rubber wore away on the shoes, and the memories that we would share there would last until our very last days. You helped show us that people may call us dreamers, but we're not the only ones. You gave us a pair of hiking boots, and you showed up as a guide. You knew the road ahead would be tough and full of terrain that we had never seen before, but you had the experience and knowledge to brave the wilderness with us, to the highest peaks, the ones where the difficult work would happen. When a family member dies, you are taken away from your home, you've been hit by someone you love. You showed up to help us climb over the toughest rocks that life has to show us, and you brought the first aid kit to patch us up when we were bleeding. You even carried us when we were far too weak to do so ourselves, but always wise enough to let us reach the summit on our own. Like all good hiking boots show, the scrapes on the soles reflect the journey that we've been on. You helped us find our higher ground. You gave us a pair of running shoes, and you showed up as a trainer. You knew we would need to train hard for what was ahead of us, whether it was college applications or spending 6 weeks in a residence hall with a bunch of strangers, living in close quarters while we spent the summer taking classes and engaging in cultural growth opportunities. We trained our legs when you walked with us from Stewart to Hart to eat a meal, or when you walked back late from a difficult watch group session. We trained our hearts and our minds, not discounting ourselves or others, and we retrained the negative influences we had once been taught. I'm sure there were times when you didn't think that you could run anymore, when you were so tired and your feet were sore, but you always showed up for us to make sure that we made it to the next mile, no matter what. Your sacrifices helped empower and enlighten us to choose the right path. You helped us choose what matters. You gave us a pair of dress shoes, and you showed up as a professional. You helped us develop skills we would need to be successful in the real world, and emulated what it meant to give 110%. We got fancied up for banquets, and for some of us, for the first time ever, we knew what it was like to feel like we had the potential to be more than what we were told that we could be. We wore these shoes and felt uncomfortable, but you showed us the trick to stand tall, look our best, and give it our all. We showed up for interviews that you helped us prepare for, and you gave us the hope that our hometown was not our graveyard. We were prepared for jobs and our future because you believed we were worthy to look the part. You helped us realize that if we always do what we always did, we'll always get what we always got. You gave us a pair of flip-flops and showed up as a friend. Because you know you have to balance hard work with some fun. Whether at the beach, at a car wash, or on a camping trip, you helped us find joy and you helped us find our laugh. We took the duck tour for the very first time and saw some shows that we'd only heard about on the radio. The words, "it's too expensive," didn't keep us gated from enjoying ourselves, and so we were able to kick back as you brought us to these wonderful places. And even more so, as friends often do, you shared parts of your whole life with us. We know Lizzie, Nathan, and John because we weren't just a job to you. We've been to your camp and we've met your parents because to you, we were human. This trust in us gave us confidence, self-esteem, and self-efficacy to believe that we were loved and valued, which made us go on to do amazing things in our lives. You helped us become the author of our own lives. When we started our journey, we were all barefoot, naked to the world around us and ready to learn. Some of us showed up to you with shoes that were dirty, ripped, without laces, and with holes in them. You opened your own closet to show us a world of possibilities that we didn't know existed. There were cleats when we needed something extra to dig into the earth with. There were chucks to go to concerts with and let loose. There were slippers to put on at the end of a hard day. And there were so many experiences in the soles of those shoes that we would have never known about without you. But what you did, Becky, even more importantly, is you showed up for us, no matter the cost, no matter the distance, and no matter the difficulty. You gave yourself, your heart, and your love to us. You made sure that we were ready for what life challenges were coming for us, and you helped us become more than we could ever knew that we could be. You helped us go confidently in the directions of our own dreams so that we could live the lives that we imagined. So thank you, Becky, for being a counselor, a mentor, a friend, a boss, a landlord, and most importantly, an inspiration of how to live a great life. I hope you know how appreciated and loved you are, and that you haven't just changed the lives of the countless people that have had the privilege to have you in their lives, but also that you've changed the world because of your impact on those individuals. Of all of the walks of life that I could have had, I'm very lucky to have had you walk into mine. So thank you, Becky, for being a part of my life and a part of my story.